That's going to be 167. And that should be the final answer. Now you can confirm it by subtracting these numbers by hand. Now 6 minus 9, we can't subtract it. It's a negative number. So we need to borrow a 1 from the 5. So that's going to turn into a 4. We're going to carry over a 1 to the 6, making it 16. 16 minus 9 is 7. Now 4 minus 8 is a negative number, so we're going to have to borrow another 1, making this 2 and making the 4 14. 14 minus 8 is 6. 2 minus 1, 1. So we get 167. So you can confirm it using that technique. Now let's work on simple multiplication problems. What is 5 times In this video, we're going to cover a few common concepts that you'll see in a typical algebra course. So let's get right into it. So let's say if you have two terms, 5x plus 4x. These are considered like terms. Whenever you have like terms, you're allowed to add the coefficients. 5 plus 4 is 9, so 5x plus 4x is 9x. Now, let's say if you have another expression, 3x plus 4y plus 5x plus 8y. You can't add 5x and 8y because they're not like terms. However, you can add 3x and 5x. That's going to equal 8x. And you can also add 4y and 8y. That's going to be 12y. So you can add the coefficients of like terms. Another example, let's say if you have 3 radical 2 plus 5 radical 7 plus 8 radical 2 plus 3 radical 7. These are like terms. Because the radical 2 is the same, you can add the 3 and 5, not 3 and 5, but the 3 and 8. 3 plus 8 is 11. So it's 11 root 2. Now these two are like terms. You can add the 5 and the 3 to give you 8. So it's 8 root 7. Try this one. 7x plus 4x squared plus 5x plus 9x squared. So we can add the 4x squared and the 9x squared because they're like terms. They both have an x squared. 4 plus 9 is 13x squared. We can add the 7x and the 5x. 7 and 5 is 12. So this is the answer. Try this one. Let's say if you have 9x squared plus 6x plus 5 plus 3x squared minus 5x minus 9. So notice that we can add 9x squared and 3x squared. They're like terms, so that's going to be 12x squared. Now we can also add 6x and 5x. 6x plus negative 5x is the same as 6x minus 5x. So 11, everything, so it's negative. 5x squared. 7x plus 5x. 7 plus 5 is 12, so it's 12x. Negative 4 plus negative 7 is the same as negative 4 minus 7, which is negative 11. And so that's how you can add or subtract polynomials. So what is a polynomial? A polynomial is a function with many terms. A monomial is simply one term. 8x is a monomial. 5x squared, that's a monomial. Or 3x squared y is a monomial. A binomial has two terms, like 5x plus 6, 7x minus 3. Those are binomials. A trinomial has three terms. So x squared plus 6x plus 5 is a trinomial. A polynomial is an expression that has many terms. Now, let's say if we wish to multiply a monomial by a trinomial. What is the answer? What do we need to do? So we need to distribute 7x to everything inside. So what's 7x times x squared? So x squared is the same as 1x squared. 7 times 1 is 7. Now what's x times x squared? X is the same as x to the first power times x squared. Whenever you multiply variables, you need to add the exponents. 1 plus 2 is 3. So this is x cubed. X to the first power is simply x. X squared is x times x. Together, you have a total of 3 x's multiplied to each other. That's why it's x cubed. Therefore, 7x times x squared is 7x cubed. Now, what is 7x times 2x? 7 times 2 is 14. X times x, or x to the first power times x to the first power. 1 plus 1 is 2, so it's x squared. And then 7x times negative 3 is negative 21x. So that's how you can multiply a monomial by a trinomial. So now it's your turn. Try this. 5x squared times 3x to the fourth power minus 6x cubed plus 5x minus 8. So let's distribute the 5x squared. 5x squared times 3x to the fourth. 5 times 3 is 15. X squared times x to the fourth is x to the 6. You need to add 2 and 4. 2 plus 4 is 6. So now we need to multiply 5x squared times negative 6x cubed. 5 times negative 6 is negative 30. X squared times x cubed, 2 plus 3 is 5. So it's going to be x to the fifth power. And then 5x squared times 5x. 5 times 5 is 25. X squared times x, we have 2 plus 1, which is 3. And so it's simply going to be x cubed. And then 5x squared times negative 8, that's 5 times negative 8 is negative 40, so it's negative 40x squared. So this is the answer to this problem. Now let's multiply a binomial by another binomial. So what's 3x minus 4 times 2x plus 7? So what we need to do here is something called FOIL. We need to FOIL these two expressions. What's 3x times 2x? 3 times 2 is 6, and x times x is x squared. Keep in mind, this is x to the first power. 1 plus 1 is 2. So next, we need to multiply the 3x by the 7. 3x times 7 is simply 21x. Negative 4 times 2x is negative 8x. And negative 4 times 7, that's going to be negative 28. So now we need to combine like terms. The like terms that we have in this expression is 21x and negative 8x. So what's 21 minus 8? 21 minus 8 is positive 13, or positive 13x. So this is the final answer. That's how you can FOIL two binomial expressions. So the answer is 6x squared plus 13x minus 28. Try this example. 2x minus 5 and 4x plus 7. Go ahead and FOIL this expression. So 2x times 4x, that's 8x squared, and 2x times 7 is 14x. Negative 5 and 4x is negative 20x, and negative 5 times 7 is negative 35. So let's add like terms. 14x minus 20x is negative 6x. So this is the final answer to this particular problem. Now, what if you see an expression that looks like this? What's 2x minus 3 squared? How would you simplify this expression? So 2x minus 3 squared is the same as 2x minus 3 times 2x minus 3. So you have to FOIL again. 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times negative 3, that's negative 6x. Negative 3 times 2x is also negative 6x. And finally, negative 3 times negative 3, two negatives will change into a positive. Now, just like before, we need to combine like terms. 6 plus 6 is 12, so negative 6 plus negative 6 is negative 12. So this is the answer, 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. Now, let's say if we wish to multiply a binomial, which has 2 terms, with a trinomial, which has 3 terms. So initially, after we multiply it, we should get a total of 2 times 3 terms, which is 6 terms. So let's multiply the 5x by 2x squared. 5 times 2 is 10. X times x squared is x cubed, because 1 plus 2 is 3. So now let's multiply 5x times negative 3x. We need to subtract the exponents. 9 minus 4 is 5. Now what about when you raise one exponent to another exponent? What do you need to do? You need to multiply. This is 7 times 6, which is 42. Now let's explain why these rules work the way they do. So let's start with multiplication. We said that x squared times x cubed is x to the 5th power. Keep in mind, x squared is simply x times x. X cubed is x times x times x. There's 3 x's multiplied. So we have a total of 5 x's multiplied. That's why when you multiply common variables, you need to add the exponents. As you can see, we have 5 x's in this expression. Now, why is it that when we raise one exponent to another, we need to multiply instead of add? It's 2 times 3, not 2 plus 3. Why is it x to the 6? X squared to the 3rd power means that we have 3 x squareds. And x squared each is x times x. So we have a total of 6 x variables multiplied to each other. That's why you need to multiply one exponent by the other whenever you raise an exponent by another one. Now, what about when dividing? Let's say if we have x to the 5th power divided by x squared. We said it's going to be 5 minus 2, which is 3. So this is x cubed. Another way in which you can see it is that x to the 5th power is equal to x times x times...
Mama, จะต้นขอมีพัก10 นาทีเท่านั้นค่ะ
times x times x times x.
เดี๋ยวครับ
It's 5x's multiplied to each other. X squared is simply x times x. So you can cancel 2x's on top and on the bottom, and you're left over with 3x's, which is therefore x to the third. So it's the same as doing 5 minus 2, which is 3. So now what about this example? Let's say if we have x to the fourth divided by x to the seventh. What is the answer? So 4 minus 7, top minus bottom, is negative 3. And whenever you have a negative exponent, if you move
ก็นี่ครับ